Cracking open a cold one. Hey
We're
guys!
back!
Oh my gosh! It has been.
That's delicious.
It has been ages.
I can't drink soda.
We're
so I
getting
have
two
mango
of them.
juice.
We got fucking 2 of them.
Two of them.
The picture of the 2 cats. 2 of
Yes. Okay, I'll make sure to put that on screen.
them. Okay, yeah, you have to do that. You're required.
How's everyone
No,
doing?
right now.
Guys,
Oh my
I don't
god.
know.
How am I
It's been
doing?
so long. Who are you people?
I looked at, I went and looked at Subnautica on my Steam library today, and we played that in March.
Oh my god!
My
That was when we last
birthday!
recorded. We recorded it in March. That was when me and Lily recorded the last session.
That's fucked up.
It is fucked up.
Alright, who wants to start about their fucked up lives?
Yeah.
Well, considering Lily, Tyler's, and I's lives are joined.
Yeah, they're combined in a Cronenberg nightmare.
Should we
Oh,
shortly
yeah.
synopsize what's been going on?
Yeah, I Star Trek teleported
definitely
into Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, we teleported Tyler into Texas. We can't do it for anyone else, so don't ask. It's only Tyler-based technology.
I
Yeah.
shouldn't
Tyler
have watched
porting.
all of that TNG before.
And then right after Tyler moved in, we lost our apartment.
Yeah. Well, we didn't
And
lose
so then
it.
we
knew
moved in
were
with my
losing it.
mom. And then after we decided we couldn't live with my mother anymore, then we were in a hotel for 4 months.
And now we're here in an actual apartment.
And now
Also-
we're in
also
an actual
Vezoth.
apartment.
As
Also,
it stands-
Vezoth is here, but
Yeah.
he has work in the morning, so he's taking a sleep.
He's sick.
Yeah.
11
Yeah,
p.m.
he's not
when we're
feeling too well.
recording this.
It is
Yeah.
11:30.
But we are half of the FableFew members are living under one roof. It is the official gamer house.
We
Yep,
have
it's just gonna
achieved
be
the
like the Final
gamer house
Fantasy house.
dream.
Everyone
Gamer
go watch
apartment.
Frederick Newt's. Everyone go Frederick Newton's Down the Rabbit Hole video on the Final Fantasy house, and that's the exact life that they're living over there.
Mhm.
Yes. I call Sephiroth.
Oh.
Which woman am I?
Can
You
I
have
be
to pick for
Tifa?
me.
The fat tits. Is Tifa the fat tits?
I don't
Yes.
know anyone outside of Sephiroth.
I'm Tifa.
No, I do know another Final Fantasy character.
Hmm.
Benjamin Dover.
What? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a joke that nobody will get because Kaylee hasn't finished the Final Fantasy 14 video.
The joke
all-
is my
we
Final
all got
Fantasy
deeply-
character is
yeah.
named Ben Dover.
We all got deeply addicted for about a couple months into Final Fantasy. Some more so than others.
We were homeless, Alex.
Yeah. Which was a pretty good reason to stop playing Final Fantasy 14 online.
I think so, anyway.
It's a pretty valid reason.
It's a
I
shame
would
because
say.
Final Fantasy 14 Final Fantasy 14
14.
has the free trial up to level 60, including the Heavensward expansion.
Heaven's Ward Division.
Award winning.
Please, God.
Mother, I have joined Final Fantasy 14 online.
I send my mom that meme of I have joined the internet, and I send it to her about every 2 weeks.
Kind
And
of
she's
a
like-
reblog.
You ever imply my mother's a MILF again, I'm gonna put
No,
a dent
not
in your
you,
head.
the mother from the comic.
I was talking about my mom, so you can understand the confusion.
Yes, it's true. There's 2 mothers being talked about in this conversation.
Oh, on that exact same note, I showed my mom the episode of the podcast she appears in.
What a great episode that she ended up on.
I don't know if you remember how that episode starts, but it's with us talking about Smurf sex.
And powerful episode.
21st episode, Aries' mom's 15 minutes of fame starts with us talking about Smurf sex, because Lily and I just watched the second Smurfs movie, and she wouldn't stop fucking talking to me about Smurf genitals.
And how
Oh,
Neil
I
Patrick
forgot.
Harris became a Smurf. That's enough. Anyway.
I completely forgot. Since we were talking about why we were gone, I slipped and fell at work, dislocated my knee, and fractured my left elbow. So I was bedridden for 3 months, and then nowadays I'm going to physical therapy, still recovering.
Yeah, isn't it
And I
funny
severed
how...
my spinal cord.
Isn't it funny how every FableFew member had something that decommissioned them for 6 months?
A catastrophic failure. Yeah.
Everyone
it's
had
really
something
funny.
happen. It's crazy.
Yeah, I did. That's my fault. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, you caused it. You caused my slip
Yeah.
and fall at work. All right. Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to hunt you down.
Come move with us and
Fair.
Gamer
You better-
House. We'll have
you better
more
do it
people.
quick. No, God, please, Lily, I'm begging you.
I'm joking.
I assume that the like another person being added, like Texas will just it'll just turn inside out. Like it'll just
It'll
go
finally
from
turn
being,
blue.
like yeah, it'll just turn into literally it will become the ocean. Like it will just flood and then disappear. Like
Greg
Atlantis.
Abbott would implode. One more gay person, not in his state.
Yeah.
I don't
My
know
laptop's
anything about your
dying.
politics. Fuck Ted Wheeler.
Yeah, fuck Ted Wheeler. I don't know that dude.
That's our mayor.
Oh.
That's Tyler's old mayor.
Ah.
It's no longer our mayor. It's
Well,
just
we all
your
have-
mayor.
No,
We all
it's-
have
it's
jobs
ours,
now,
it's
too.
It's my shitty.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for my cue to talk about my job.
I
Yeah.
already had a fucking job, and it
Ty-
fucking sucked.
Tyler and I are both working now. We're not telling you where we're working because that would be bad, but we are working.
They work. I know the exact. Hold on, let me pull up the address.
Don't do
Don't.
it.
They're working at the Bimbo and Himbo factory, respectively.
Fuck,
Yeah.
Just so
Alex!
they make Morticia Adams and Gomez Adams.
Yeah.
Good. I want to Gomez Adams. Can you give me one, please?
Yeah, hold on. And I just pick
One
Tyler up
Gomez
and hold
Adams,
him like you hold your cat.
wait, I haven't showed the photo that I took of Gomez and Morticia at our front door at work.
What?
Excuse me?
Oh, yeah.
It was a
Excuse me?
posted. It's a posted little photo. Hold on, I'll
Oh.
send it.
Oh. I have to go look at this. I have to go to
Somebody
the
posted
fucking
this at the
channel.
front of our workplace. We'll probably post it to
Where?
Twitter.
Posting it in the podcast discussion right now.
Love goals.
Oh, okay.
Oh shit.
That's me and Lily.
I have to scroll all the way down.
That's
Yeah,
fucking
all of their
great.
stuff has been fucking Miss Piggy and Kermit.
Yeah,
Uh,
because Tyler keeps sending me stuff about them now.
Tyler, put this or Lily put this photo in, but I want you to make it look like you like. I want because you and Tyler are in there as like reflections. I want you to censor it like you're on like a true crime television show. Like you,
Okay.
like they can't, like they need to say that you're there, but they can't reveal your like. They can't. They have to keep you anonymous.
I mean,
the
I can
black
also just
bars
I can
over
also
the
just
eyes.
crop it, but sure.
Yeah.
I think it'd
Yeah.
be funnier if you
I
did
think it's
that.
funny. Yeah, I think it's funnier.
I'll
if you
probably
censor
still do
yourself.
both anyway, but
You should just make it like scary silhouettes of the reflection.
Should twist it.
anyway.
I also got a new job. I am a personal care technician at the biggest children's hospital in the country.
How's that?
Like the Children's
then?
Hospital Network. Well, I have a story.
Yeah.
I have a couple stories, but like for the most part, my job, just like to debrief anyone who doesn't know what a PCT is, I'm a personal care technician, and that means that my job is to go in and assist the nurses in making sure that the patients are comfortable, especially with kids and stuff. A lot of times they're scared, and my job is just kind of go in and be like, hey, being in the hospital isn't so scary. I have purple hair. Isn't that crazy? And for the most part, it's been okay. I actually just got out of the official, like, training, so I'm on my own starting tomorrow. But on my last shift, my trainer decided, she's just like, I'm gonna go, and she left without telling me she was leaving. And so I, like, entered the little office that we do all our paperwork in, and she's gone, and I was just like, maybe she took lunch early, like, without me. And then I continue doing stuff, and like an hour later, a nurse comes in and is like, oh, did they not tell you about Nicole? And I was like, no. And she left, and she, like, dropped me into the wild without doing any of my review paperwork. So I was really fucked over. Did not show me some very crucial things, which end up becoming plot important.
Oh.
So, about 30 minutes after that, all the lights start flickering. Like, really
Oh, you're
ominous
haunted.
shit.
Oh, it's haunted.
So I'm trying to figure it out. In the meantime, I'm not really noticing this because I'm going in and out of patient rooms and I work the night shift, so all the patient rooms are dark. So I don't notice that the lights are flickering because it's only happening when I'm in patient rooms.
Oh.
Yeah. So I
Normal.
go in for one of the little babies I take care of. I was trying to get a urine sample for her, and like I finally get it, and like the nurse is really excited, so he's like, okay, go ahead and send it. So I do all the paperwork to accept it, and I go over to the pneumatic tube system, which I am a 8-year-old because I get to use every day, and I'm so excited whenever I get to have a tube sucked up into there.
I love a pneumatic tubes.
Don't you? This is great. So I go over to the pneumatic tube system. That's the noise it makes. I go over to the pneumatic tube system, and I go to push in the number to send it to the lab. And there's a big stop sign on there that it says something stupid like progress halted momentarily or something. Some unnecessary.
Funniest way to phrase out of order. That's the
Yeah.
funniest way.
It doesn't just say out of order. It says something like really stupid, and I don't know what it means. So I turn to
use this device is temporarily put on pause.
just say out of order. I turn around to the person who is in charge of like making sure that the unit's working is called the HUC or Human Unit Coordinator. And so I turned to her and I was like, Tracy, am I going stupid or is the tube system down? And she looks at me and then she squints at her computer and goes, oh, they're turning the generators off until 6.
What?
The tube system.
Why?
So the tubes are down until 6. Well, they have to test the generators sometime.
Oh.
And it
It's
just
that.
happens that nights are considered less important than days usually.
Yeah.
So I'm clutching this urine sample in my hands like an 8-year-old. And I'm just like,
cup.
exactly. I'm like, well, it's in a biohazard bag.
Oh.
So I'm like clutching the bag in
Capri
both
Sun.
hands.
Bio
Yes,
juice.
a lot
cup.
closer to that. And I'm just like, Tracy, what am I supposed to do? I already sent, because you have like an hour before the sample goes bad. I'm just like, what am I supposed to do? And she's like, well, you'll have to go down to the lab. And I was like, where's the lab? She stops. And then she like thinks for a second. She's like, I don't know. It might be on the 6th floor. Which we're on the 6th floor.
Oh.
The fucking goal of being like, well, what do I do with this? Oh, you just go here. You just go to A. Well, where's A? Oh, I've never been to A.
Well, she's just, her job is to sit at a chair and stare at a computer and answer phones to coordinate
that's so
the
funny.
unit all night. So her job isn't to run samples. My job is to run samples. But the problem is my trainer left like an hour ago at this point. So Tracy like stands up. Tracy is 4'3", and so she stands up and stomps across the unit to a nurse and is just like, take AJ to the lab.
Do this.
And I was like, you know where it is, right? She's like, oh yeah, it's downstairs in the basement. And I was like, cool. This is fine. Again, the power is going out.
Yeah, it's haunted.
Yeah, I work on the 6th floor, so there's you have to take elevators down to the basement. There's not even stairs that go directly to the basement.
Don't dead open inside.
Don't dead open inside, exactly. So we get to the elevators and they're being like really clangy, and right as we hit the floor and like the doors open enough for us to leave, all of the elevators go dunk dunk dunk, and then power goes out.
Oh.
I was like, cool, this is normal. I end up saying to the polite coworker, Virginia, that is walking me to the lab, I was just like, hey, I should give you a heads up. Elevators don't usually work around me. I have been stuck in an elevator no less than 8 times and no more than 13, depending on how you define getting stuck in an elevator.
Powerful. Powerful ability.
Truly. So,
Incredible.
I don't know. It's something. So she was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. And so we continue walking, and what they didn't tell me is that the lab is in the morgue.
Oh, that's... I guess that makes some sense.
It doesn't.
No?
No. They essentially share the same giant hermetically sealed door, which, if you've never been in a hospital, all the doors are electronically locked, and the power's going out.
Oh.
So, again, like, you're hearing just, like, throughout the hospital, just, like, this vague clunk, and then, like, the power will go out somewhere.
I'm glad you live in Resident Evil 2.
See, I called Cam the day after this happened, and he said the same thing.
Yeah, you are currently, you were just having a fun time wandering around Raccoon City.
And so, we go down to the lab, and we, like, badge in, and the doors open, and we get into the lab, and I'm just, like, again, clutching this urine sample like a 4-year-old, holding, like, a goldfish bag. And the lab tech comes in and is just like, hey, which one of you broke it? And I was like, what? She's like, broke the hospital. And then she starts laughing hysterically, snatches the urine sample out of my hand, and leaves.
This is mine!
Alright.
She dashes into the shadows, never to be seen again.
She's gonna drink it.
Fun fact, that is how we used to test urine, is we had to drink it. Now we just make robots do it.
Like that Nathan For You sketch.
So, right after she scampers into the lab behind the lab that I can see, and the door closes, again, that really loud clunk clunk sound happens, and all the power goes out. Now, as we had come in, knowing that this was a giant hermetically sealed door that keeps the morgue from the living people, I had suggested we maybe keep the door open. And my polite coworker that had walked with me said, I don't know why that would be a problem. So now we, again, because the power is down, we just hear, like, the door, essentially, which is humming this whole time, suddenly go silent.
Oh.
And she, like, scampers over to it. It is entirely pitch black. We are now in the morgue area. We have left the lab area to go back to the door. And she, like, tries the door, and it's not opening. And she's like, we're stuck here for about 10 minutes, and she's getting progressively more and more freaked out. And I'm like, I should do something to, like, maybe help with the tension. And I was like, man, if I had a nickel for every time I got locked in a morgue.
Would you have 2?
I'd have 2!
Which isn't a lot.
I just have 2. This has only happened to me one other time.
But it's weird that it's happened twice.
It's weird that it happened twice. The first time, I was in a hospital because my brother had a fever of, like, 108 or something, while we were on a road trip, and we stopped in a hospital that was also the church, that was also the fire station, that was also the police department.
I love those kind of towns. Where you have the doctor barber chef?
Yeah!
There was also the baker.
The doctor was also the EMT. It was great.
And the optician.
And the gynecologist.
So my brother is, like, wheeled into, like, this, like, weird sectioned off, like, everything is, like, cardboard, and everything looks super fake, because it's also a church, that's also the fire station, that's also the police department.
Yeah. Normal.
And so I'm like, man, I hope my brother doesn't die, so I just leave, because I'm, like, 15, maybe. And I just leave, and I eventually end up in that weird, fucked up Combo's morgue, where I was allowed to go open the door into the morgue, but I was not allowed to open the door to leave the morgue.
You said that, and I just thought about a morgue that had like just selling combos, like the snack.
What?
Combos that are like gas station snack food. I thought that you were like the combos morgue. The morgue that sells combos.
Yeah.
No, I just assume this is also where they do the police autopsies.
Yeah,
it gives you a Big Mac and a large fry.
Yeah, you meant combo as in like the combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell sort of
yes!
situation.
That for some reason I was able to enter but could not leave.
That's insane. Great.
Which, funny enough, the exact same thing happened when I got stuck in a morgue on Thursday night.
Yeah.
But anyway, that one statement of the possibility of me having been stuck in a morgue more than once caused my coworker to burst into tears.
Oh.
It was really funny.
Oh.
That sounds like it was funny.
Oh, the life you lead. The life you lead.
So, and then there was one more thing that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So we go and, like, finally the power comes back on with, like, that big whirring sound that generators make, and, like, the door starts humming again, and we hear the lock re-engage. So we manage to badge out of the door. And as we're opening the door, like, a big gust of wind goes, like, just whooshing through the hallway that we had entered from, and slams the door open and hits my coworker in the face.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the spirit of the hospital.
That's been the consensus, yeah. So as we walk out into the hallway, we're, like, walking against this giant gust of wind that's going through the hospital from the elevators we have to enter to go back upstairs.
It's Resident Evil. You're experiencing, like, what was that horror game where you ran around with a camcorder like an idiot in an insane asylum?
Oh, Outlast.
You're living Outlast right now. You're experiencing Outlast. You're just stuck in a basement of a hospital with scary wind ghosts.
See, I'm like Miles what's-his-fuck from Outlast. I have a knife.
That's true.
I'm not a bitch with a camcorder.
You live everything about Outlast except all of the characters are from that other camcorder game, but it's from the PS2 era.
Are you talking about Fatal Frame?
No.
Yeah, it's
not Fatal Frame.
That would be funny. It was Fatal Frame. I have no idea what you're talking about, then, Tyler.
Detroit from Hell or something like that.
What?
Do you know about that game?
I've never heard of this PlayStation 2 game that apparently exists. No.
It's this really, really bad Japanese game where, like, you take control of a news camera guy, and, like, everybody just starts dying and there's monsters around.
It's called Michigan Report from Hell.
Michigan.
Oh.
So yeah, Detroit.
Okay.
And everybody's really bad and poorly voice acted, and none of the story makes sense.
Good.
The Game Grumps played it, apparently.
Oh,
that makes
Jerma played it.
Oh, that's why you know what the fuck it is. I see.
This thing looks insane. Why does the cover look like that?
I gotta go look.
You have to watch gameplay.
It's a picture of a shadow. It's a picture of a shadow.
You have to watch gameplay. It's so bad.
That's for later. I need to see the title.
I saw a really old Critical video did this, and there's like an entire scene that is dedicated to a phone ringing that you physically can't pick up, but the like main character keeps going, I should pick up the phone.
I think I don't remember who, like, what person, like, what YouTuber I watched that made this comment, but I think it's one of the most correct ones about this era. I think it might have been Scott the Waz, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But
the good old Waz.
From the, like, most recent, like, exclusive games video where he talked about, like, the GameCube and the, like, Xbox kind of had, like, a pretty stable exclusive lineup where and like third party lineup as well, where like most things were quality around the GameCube and Xbox original, and then the PlayStation 2 was a fucking like shotgun blast of quality. It could be anything. you could get like a new Final Fantasy. It's like, yes, and then you get Michigan Report from Hell. No. Oh, also, when I was talking about the combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell, did you guys know that there was in the same style, there was a combination KFC and whatever the fish fast food place is called?
Yes,
Popeyes?
we have so many of those here.
Popeyes?
Yes. No.
It's Long John
Lily,
Silver's.
did you just say Popeyes?
I know where one of them...
No, it ain't. Yeah, but it's Long John Silver's and KFC, because I believe, much like Taco Bell and Pizza Hut, they're the same.
I know where one of those is exactly, like within 20 miles of me.
Yep.
It's such a funny combination of locations, because it's probably just like You have to imagine that the clientele is like 99.999 repeating KFC customers. And then there's that one guy that's like, I need the battered cod.
Are you telling me that you don't need the battered cod?
It's always fucking food.
Alex,
What?
it could be worse.
What could it? What do you think?
It could be a McDonald's in a shell.
We have those here too.
Really?
There are
that's another one I know when they're
gas station and fast food. That sounds like a great combination.
I'm telling you right now, on my way home from work, there's a place, because like one of my favorite like quick things to eat is street tacos, specifically lengua tacos. And so there's a giant gas station called Fox Gas Station that is like literally looks like a castle.
That's incredible.
It literally looks like a castle, but is part laundromat, part taqueria, part regular ass gas station, and then part like slushy factory.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Now we're talking. You could live like a king there.
You could. I remember I went there. I had like one of the worst shifts that I've had since I started this job. And I was talking to my mom because I was afraid that I was going to fall asleep driving home. And I was like, man, I'm so fucking hungry and I'm so fucking nauseous. And she's like, okay, go get tacos at this place. I've had tacos there and they're pretty good. And so I stopped there to get tacos. I get like 8 tacos and then I leave. And there's this guy that is smoking right in front of my car. And I'm going to go and get into my car and he starts catcalling me. And I turn to him. And I guess my look of disdain and exhaustion scared him because he's like, oh, I'm sorry, woman, citizen. I'm sorry, citizen, upstanding citizen of our community. I'm so sorry.
Did he fucking salute and then march away?
Yeah!
C-17 NPCs when you look at Gordon wrong.
The tonal shift of like a fucking Looney Tunes-esque like cat call whistle, like I can't whistle, and then like get that glare
Don't
and then just like
whistle on podcast.
Yeah, don't
please
whistle
God.
But the I just imagine just immediately a salute and the voice just goes, "Sorry, citizen."
Upstanding citizen, member of our community, sir, and then he leaves.
Oh, your state's crazy.
It was so fucking funny.
The craziest thing we get is the horrible drug problem and systemic homelessness.
Oh, that's
I mean, we have that too.
Yeah, it seems that's pretty...
The drug problem will get better. Unfortunately.
That was me clearing my throat, but also it was a segue.
He's got an owl pellet.
Yeah, I had to take care of that.
Oh.
You know how it is.
I do.
You know how it is when you eat.
I do.
You know how it is when you eat a whole mouse whole.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Yeah. Who doesn't,
Jesus Christ.
Man,
it's good to be back.
I drank a Pepsi. I'm still drinking this Pepsi. The thing about the cracking open the cold one thing is even if I'm not thirsty, I now have to nurse a drink that I've opened.
You should make sure to drink while we're doing podcast. We get into such hysterics, you need to be hydrated.
That's true. But I don't think this Diet Pepsi's doing much for my hydration.
No, probably not.
But like water, but guess what? Water doesn't come in a can unless it's bad water, aka seltzer.
Fucking, what is that? What's that one water?
There's a lot of water.
Which
There's Dasani, there's
Thirst,
Fiji,
you talking about liquid
Fiji.
death?
Yeah, liquid death!
I hate
that
it.
one's pretty good. I like it. I like it mostly because they use cans because they can be recycled indefinitely, unlike plastic bottles.
I hate the taste of it.
I like it. It's better than most waters.
AJ doesn't like water as a rule.
I fucking
general,
hate the taste of water.
Tyler knows this story, but one of our friends in high school, like, just never drank water, period. And then, like,
Do they drink anything
while
instead?
milk, but the
Milk?
the
That's all we're given in high school.
That's all. Yeah, that's true. That's all you were given to drink at school. But like, this was also like a home rule as well. But the thing is they like, this all resulted in eventually them being in their bathroom, and they just fucking almost fainted and fell into their fucking bathtub because they were dehydrated because they didn't drink their fucking water.
Listen, you can drink things other than water and be hydrated.
Yeah,
as long as it's
to drink something.
It's just like, milk would not be my first go-to because there's a lot of things in milk outside of liquid, like milk protein.
Chunky.
But that's really gross.
Also, we've hit the 30-minute mark.
Yeah, all right. Well,
I have a question. This will
God.
give people something to mull over on our little break. What are your thoughts on opaque liquids? Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Opaque milk.
Opaque liquids.
Milk is opaque.
I said too fast.
Milk is an opaque liquid, yes.
Tomato soup.
I'm drinking
Tomato
a juice that is very opaque right now because I can't have soda because I am on a very strict diet.
I can't say that I dislike opaque liquid because one of my favorite drinks is coffee, which is an opaque liquid.
I guess.
It is opaque.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, glad that we have that.
It's always back to food. It's always back to food.
Tyler, what's your thoughts on opaque liquid?
I said I like tomato soup.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
then
good.
Here we are.
It is good. It's a good opaque liquid.
So, since we're here, we're back again. Oop, let me fuck around and stumble over my words because I can't talk. So, you know what I've been doing lately?
Playing Minecraft.
I've been playing Minecraft.
Doing it a lot.
Again, I
my
didn't
god,
get to
it's
play
just back to Minecraft.
I didn't get to play Minecraft for nearly 4 months. My favorite video game.
She played for a month on her phone at work.
I did.
She did.
And then I destroyed the world with a wither because I didn't realize that bedrock withers suck shit and are the worst fight in the world. And so I haven't opened that world since.
Abandoned. just fucking foreclosed on that shit. Not going back out.
I got the achievement and I think that's all that matters.
Fair enough.
Oh yeah, for like ever, because we watch everything on the Xbox that Lily's account is hooked up to. Whenever she would play Minecraft at work and get an achievement, for whatever reason the Xbox makes the loudest noise on the fucking planet.
It really?
Whenever a Minecraft achievement
Yeah, I'd get that too whenever I didn't, like, when I got an Xbox One for streaming and recording purposes, and also I was craving to play the Rare Replay collection, and that's it. Whenever I got an achievement when playing like Viva Pinata or something, my Windows 10 computer would also play the achievement noise at the same exact time and scared the shit out of me.
But it's the dumbest feature.
It would be like when we were living in a hotel, it was Lily and Tyler got one room, and then Vez and his husband got another room, and then I was in the living room. And so it would just be, I'd have something on to be like sleeping to, and suddenly it'd just be the loudest fucking noise on the planet. Saying that Lily got whatever fucking inane achievement in Minecraft.
The new Xbox achievement noise, like it always should keep to just the simple like 360 like bloop, like that should have been it.
Yeah.
Instead of just like an overture, like orchestra swell, and it's like ding, 20 gamer points. And it's like, I don't care.
Please God, let me rest.
I hate that achievements make a noise. Steam did it right. It's just a little thing in the corner.
Game bar.
I hate that. Steam bar.
What? The Xbox what?
The game bar. It's like the overlay for Windows 10 for gamers.
Yeah, it's not good.
I was gonna say, it's what you play fucking Sea of Thieves from. Or it's what I have to play Sea of Thieves from.
It's obnoxious. I regret not buying it on Steam.
Oh, joke's on you. You like
it still plays the sound.
It's still
you still have to integrate it.
Yeah, you still have to integrate it with your Xbox account.
No, that's not what my issue is. My issue was like inviting people.
Like,
I have to fucking use Game Bar.
That's true. You also have to do that on the Steam version.
Then what's the fucking point?
The point is that you don't have to open up the Xbox app.
Pause my recording.
Yeah, I don't have to open the Xbox app.
Recording.
Wow.
Truly, I am so sick of game companies having their own app. Oh, cat. But
cat.
Let him out and shut the door.
Just let him out. Just fucking.
What did he do?
Climbed on Tyler's desk and tried to eat his microphone.
Cat.
He paused the
You want to resync right now?
No. I'm recording the audio on the video so I can sync it easy.
Oh, okay. So there's no problem. Okay,
Yeah.
Excellent, great. That was great.
It's still really fucking funny.
That's very funny. It's, like
Good
dedicated
boy.
savage.
Good boy.
But I completely lost my train of fucking thought.
Talking about companies with their own proprietary stuff.
I'm tired. I hate the Bethesda.net launcher. I hate the Ubisoft Connect launcher. I hate the Epic Games launcher. I hate Battle.net specifically. I hate GOG can stay. GOG is if this is that SpongeBob bit where Mr. Krabs is shooing away all the people and says the clown can stay, GOG can stay.
GOG can stay. Good old games. They're good old games.
Mm-hmm.
Although I recall good old games backing down to China's demands for them not to release a certain indie game on their platform, and everyone was mad at them.
That sounds like some internet drama.
It's really bad.
Video games. It seems that it's very hard to make and develop a video game without being an absolute scumbag, apparently.
I mean, you could say the same with children's media.
You could say the same for children's media.
Have you heard about what's going on with Streamlabs?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Not
Streamlabs
exactly
just
like
fucking-
fully, but I'm kind of familiar.
Streamlabs just like
Can't
took
see
their
that.
entire. They just took like another Streamlabs OBS like website, what
yeah.
had different brand, and then just copy and pasted their entire website, including like the user reviews.
Yeah, and that's what they
Like
did with
whole
that's what they did
sale.
with that's what they did with OBS too. Don't
Yeah,
pay attention to the
yeah.
fact that I'm recording on Streamlabs OBS right now.
It's a laziness thing. It's not like I'm paying them any money.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Because they have their own fucking, like, Prime thing to subscribe to Streamlabs themselves
Why?
for more
Why?
things. And I saw a Twitter video where someone was unsubscribed from Streamlabs Prime speedrun, and they go through all the menus, and literally when you try to unsubscribe, there are like count them like seven like, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? And like
You'll be
big
missing
green
out on
button,
this great offer.
like. Yeah, and then like the text that's explaining why you shouldn't unsubscribe in the same font, in the same size at the bottom is the yes continue button, and then a big green glowing button that's like, no, I'll stay.
I hate when websites do that shit. Because Lily's been having a problem with a service she's been using like that.
It's the different reasons. Should I name the service?
I say go ahead. Fuck those guys.
Yeah,
So
were you
I'm
gonna get fucking sponsored by him?
So, if you use Tumblr and happen to be transgender in any way, even if you're not transgender, I think you'll probably have been getting these ads from a
$100 a
service
month?
called Plume. See, Plume is
I'm not trans.
Their whole thing is they're a subscription service for trans medical care. It's $100
I will say,
a month.
as a medical professional, there's a lot of red flags that are about to come up.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
have you not been paying attention? That's
couldn't
why I keep
afford
yelling
my
at Lily to
meds
call
this
Planned
week
Parenthood.
because I had to pay them the $100. Anyway, so it's $100 a month for the service you get, which is you have a
Nothing.
nurse practitioner tell you.
Not a doctor. You don't even get every single thing that is done medically has to be done under a doctor's supervision. Even me, who's a tech, I am like the lowest rung of the ladder as far as giving professional medical care goes. Everything I do is technically from the orders of a doctor, and you can go up the chain directly to the doctor that is supervising my care.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know who my doctor is. I can ask, I'm sure, probably, but like also I feel like it should be more inherently obvious which doctor is serving me. Anyway, so you talk to a nurse practitioner and they're like, hey, could you give us your information and we'll give you meds? And I'm like, well, I was already taking meds to begin with, so it wasn't that crazy to me, because I thought, oh, well, surely because I had already been taking a hormone replacement therapy, that's why they didn't ask anything otherwise. But I have a feeling that they don't ask anyone, because a friend of ours, a mutual friend of ours, also uses the service, and they also didn't really ask her anything.
And my biggest problem with this is because, regardless of your AGAB, your assigned gender at birth, there's a lot more steps that go into good medical care aside from just asking questions. Because, like, the blood work you get done every now and then is still, it's only checking your hormone levels. It should be checking for stuff like taking estrogen or testosterone. Estrogen increases your risk for cancer, and testosterone increases your risk for heart problems, and all of that stuff. They should be checking for that, and they're not.
Nope. Which is again why I'm mentioning them by name, to hopefully have some people who are desperate for HRT avoid the service, because
please just use Planned Parenthood, please.
Yeah, the problem with Planned Parenthood is you do need insurance, or else you're just gonna be paying out of pocket anyway.
Yeah, but you're at least knowing that you're getting professional medical care and not whatever Plume is trying to sell you.
Yes. So Plume has by far one of the most obnoxious ad campaigns I've ever seen.
Oh God.
Every single time I open Tumblr, it's like, oh, here's the most obnoxious ad I've ever seen in my life, telling me about how this trans person's cool, and they say Plume is cool.
But again, my biggest thing here when Lily first started it is I had looked into it because I'm also trans, but I'm also very big into having safe medical practices. I had looked into it just to see what all of the fuss was about, because I remember when Plume existed way before this big marketing campaign. And all of the stuff I can find from them, of course, all the reviews are from TERFs. So all of the reviews immediately like come across as like, okay, you're just saying it's bad for bad's sake to discredit them. But there's no actual reviews that talk about what receiving the service is like.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest issues with using Plume is the lack of oversight and any overhead understanding of what's going on, but also the cost is really expensive.
Insane.
It's $100 a month for a quarterly blood test and nobody to talk to you for most of that time. It's just someone gives you a prescription for meds, and they kind of purposefully go out of their way to keep you on 1 month medical dole outs, because if they do it monthly, then I feel like they probably have more of an excuse to charge you that $100 monthly fee.
Which they don't, by the way.
Yeah, of course. But I've switched to 3-month dosages. It was really easy, but I did have to ask. Nobody was like, oh, hey, would you like to switch to this? And it's a whole bunch of other things, but I couldn't afford my meds this past thing, and I had to ask other people for money, because switching to 3-month dosages meant that my medicine was $120 for the 2 meds I take, estradiol and progesterone. And that's the fact that 3 months of medicine is only a little more expensive than the service's monthly fee is a bit odd to me. The reason why I signed up for it is because I had started HRT via the DIY Reddit forums, because I was ready to start HRT, and I didn't want to go through the stupid hoops and rings that Texas makes you go through to get HRT. And so I'm hoping that
because Texas is very lacking on informed consent laws as far as HRT and any sort of gender therapy go.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that having past prescriptions for it would allow me to just hop in, just go to Planned Parenthood and go and get some meds, which it probably will be. It's pretty easy, and Planned Parenthood also runs on informed consent.
They do.
But that's pretty much the only reason why I even signed up for Plume in the first place. Is like, oh, I just need this. It's like a jumping off point. And then we had the 4 months of moving like nightmare that happened, and so I haven't really had the opportunity to stop service.
Yeah. And just from what you've explained of like trying to, because you tried to cancel it this month, didn't you?
No.
No?
I tried to just... What I did is, and I said this, I turned my card off on my bank because they charge it as like a regular card payment. Fun fact, if you do that, they will then bother your bank and force them to make it an automatic payment.
Wow. That's incredible.
So yeah, they still charge me the $100 monthly fee.
That's fucked up.
There's like a new trend
Yeah.
in like shitty Silicon Valley app development where like the old thing was like those Clash of Clans likes in terms of games and entertainment, but like the new like hot shit, instead of like mattresses or like bed sheets and clothes, the new thing is like medical and psychological help on the cheap on your phone, and it's like this is going to end horribly.
What's that?
As a medical professional, it's a nightmare.
Feels so predatory.
That meditation app.
Headspace?
Sleep.
There's
Headspace.
Headspace. I'm thinking of Headspace. Headspace is like that. It's like, hey guys, what if we made self-help and medicine subscription services like Netflix? You know?
Again, I have talked before on this topic because I have genuine resources for that sort of thing. And there are genuine things, like 7 Cups does a great job without all of that stress. There's the other one that I had the app for a while. It's like Ubi or something.
Wysa.
Which is essentially...
Oh, different one.
Wysa, that one. No, it's Wysa.
Okay.
Which is essentially, it is a pre-programmed thing where you just text, you're like, I remember my aunt had just died, and I just put in the pre-program, and it was pre-scripted because it's just a little robot penguin that talks to you. And it's just a pre-scripted thing where it said I was dealing with grief. So it walked me through some steps for dealing with grief. And it was very, very basic. I wasn't talking to a real person, but it helped a lot. And Wysa and 7 Cups are genuinely good resources for this. And then you have shit like Headspace, which is so predatory. It sells your information, and it goes out of its way to just be like, this is a service that everyone in this day and age needs, but we're just going to be the most fucked up about it as possible.
Not to mention that Headspace pushes you towards year-long payment subscriptions.
Yes.
Yep.
And BetterHelp also has that problem where it's like you can seek like therapy sessions, but also we're going to make it so like our whole policy and stuff is you can message and like get at your therapist any time of day, which is not, you don't want that usually. You don't want to be able to like constantly be able to text your therapist at like 6 a.m. Like you
just text like, your therapist.
Your therapist doesn't want that.
the therapists are like, that's not good for us. Like
we're people too.
They're supposed to have their own time.
I will say, as someone who's gone to therapy, I did have a therapist who, she was like, well, if you ever need advice or if you're having a hard time, I had like a business phone number that I could text her and she'd get to it when she could.
Yeah.
most of the time I was texting her during like work hours, because I remember we were working on whatever therapy tactic there was, and I ended up seeing a rewrite of The Giving Tree that was a lot more about like setting boundaries and stuff, and I sent that to her, and I was just like, hey, this reminded me of our last session, and she just texted back like an hour later. She's like, good, I'm glad you're thinking of it outside of our sessions.
Yeah.
So that's like a healthy way to do it. But the way that these are doing it, where it's like the 24/7 shit, is insane. Because again, any therapist that you have is going to encourage boundaries, and that includes boundaries with your therapist.
Yes, the therapist has boundaries. They're not just a wall to speak at.
It's very funny because there's like this weird disconnect with people on the internet and therapists and how they understand them. Because I remember this TikTok was like a joke. It was like, and it was deleted pretty soon after because
it was deleted like immediately.
But it was like, patient comes in and starts trauma dumping, and I just go
on the first session.
Yeah.
On the first session,
that's your job as a therapist. But also, people seem to take it the opposite direction and go, yeah, their job as a therapist is to make sure that I'm okay all of the time forever. And it's like, ooh.
I was like, again, any therapist is going to be like, yeah, these are your boundaries. But also, at the same time, every therapist I've had is like, I've suffered from trauma and stuff, but it's like, it's really hard to talk about that stuff on your first session. Most therapists are ecstatic if you can even tell them that you have daddy issues.
At least it's something, you know?
Yeah, because again, that's what you're there for. I've been turned down by therapists because of my specific issues, because they're like, oh, hey, that's outside of my scope of comfort. And like that's a realistic thing to do, but I just know that TikTok's out there.
It's ready to stick those weird like nurse TikToks that are just like, to make fun of your patient, huh?
Yeah, where it's like, I can't name names, but I can just espouse like gossip to the entire like application.
But then they give out too much information, so somebody could easily figure out what that patient is. Yeah, you don't break
confidentiality.
Yes.
God, it's fucking annoying. Because, like, I'll complain about my patients, because it's normal to complain about your job, and, like, you can do it in a way that doesn't go, like, hi, this is John Albuquerque, and he has, like, this really rare cancer that's really annoying to deal with. It's HIPAA. Yeah.
Classic HIPAA.
Speaking of HIPAA...
Because I can absolutely... Yeah.
I think it's really funny how many people misunderstand how HIPAA works.
Oh, absolutely.
With the whole COVID stuff going on, and people are like, you can't ask me for my vax records. That's against HIPAA. So funny. It's like, that's not what HIPAA is.
No, HIPAA is saying that, like, I, as a PCT who works with patient information, can't turn around and then say, hey, I treated thus and thus at the hospital for this, because that's stuff that can get you, like, disqualified for jobs and stuff, but jobs don't have to know, because that's disability and stuff. That's HIPAA. Me saying that you need to be vaccinated to come and visit this dying child is not against HIPAA.
You can't ask me for that.
I think it's so funny that, people see HIPAA as, like, it's like, they're like, you can't send a fax to another medical office. Are you insane? The HIPAA, though.
HIPAA, though.
It's this whole thing where I think everyone should know their rights as people.
Oh, absolutely.
But I feel like people don't understand what their rights actually mean, and so they just get really into the idea of having like an immunity card instead.
Yeah,
people love a
shrinking horse.
But not a literal immunity
better
card
myself.
because they're not vaccinated.
Yes. Oh no, they hate that. They hate that kind of they like social immunity.
Yes, they like to be
herd
absolved of
not
issues.
Medical immunity. Nah, fuck it. I gotta eat the horse juice. You know.
Yeah, take some
ivermectin,
ketamine.
baby.
It was just straight up bleach.
Man, Lily.
Inject.
Lily. It's ivermectin. Ketamine does good things for people.
Wait, what am I thinking of? What? It's not ketamine.
Ivermectin.
What? No, what's the what was the hot thing before ivermectin?
Ivermectin.
No, like it was like the bleach or whatever. It was like.
It was just bleach. The horse thing is ivermectin.
No, I know the horse thing is ivermectin. I'm not confused about ivermectin.
Okay.
I can't remember what the specific name of like that shit that Trump said was good to take was.
It was just
just bleach.
It was just bleach.
He said just drink bleach.
Yeah.
Fucker really said drink bleach.
Stuff.
A majority of the country thought this was the guy. This was the guy.
He was the guy.
I saw it on the waveform when she
You're the guy.
Pull up the Spy Kids 3 reference.
Spy Kids 3, yeah! Oh, gosh.
Same wavelength.
This
is what living together for 3 years does to a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, opium!
Can you feel it, Tyler? Encroaching on your livelihood?
Can you feel it, Mr. Krabs?
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
The waveform is funny.
Thinking about that Mickey Mouse comic now. Mickey Mouse panel
I was
where
gonna say
there's
Quaaludes, even though I knew it was wrong.
Fuck, the malaria medicine. You're thinking of the malaria medicine.
Is that what I was thinking of?
Yes.
Okay.
Fuck, I can't remember what.
Yes. Oh my god.
Quaaludes.
Opium.
Fuck, I'm so upset that I'm too
bad.
young to have it in fucking Quaaludes.
You guys, this is a complete fucking segue entirely. Did you guys see that Popeye game that came to the Nintendo Switch recently?
No. Well, yeah, I saw it, but I didn't see any of the gameplay.
It's so fucked up.
Is it bad?
So fucked. It's really bad.
That
It's
sucks.
It's the funniest Unity thing I've ever seen. Literally, like, the whole point of the game is you run around collecting, like, Unity hearts that, like, Olive Oil throws from a tower. So she's just not in the game. She just stands at, like, above the map. Which there are 4 of them, by the way, in the whole game. And they loop over and over again with different weather effects.
Is it a remake of
Hydroxychloroquine.
Hydroxychloroquine. Thank you, AJ.
But the like it's a score. It's based off like the old like Popeye arcade game.
The
but
thing
like a
that Donkey
3D
Kong
Unity
wanted to be.
Yes, but the whole point of the game was Bluto's chasing you around, which the game calls him Brutus, by the way.
Oh yeah.
What?
And then if Brutus gets near you, he punches you into the ocean, but it's the loudest punch in the world. So you're just walking around this like desolate, empty, no NPC like pirate map that like with just like a MIDI like and then
Popeye song.
and then Brutus comes up to you and just goes and then sends you into the
It is
fucking
not a video game.
I like your cut, G.
But it's just this big
It's not a video game to me.
and it's the funniest shit. Oh my god, it's $60, I think. And I don't know, it should be taken down. It's not a video game. It's not worth money.
It is a video game.
The Nintendo Switch version of the
video
Popeye video game does not have a Wikipedia page.
Tyler,
my hands hurt from that.
Bubsy 3D is a video game. It is a
That's
video
Video game to
game.
me.
That's
The
a
thing,
tech
you
demo.
can't
That's a pro-
deny
This is the
that
original.
something is a video game because it is
Wasn't
inherently
there-
a video game by being a playable like video experience.
There might have been other ports.
Oh shit!
Is it
Well, you
just
better
the Nintendo
fucking
Switch
get on
version
that.
sucks?
I didn't know there were other versions. I thought it was just the Nintendo Switch release. There's more? Well, yes, the original. That's the arcade game. I thought you meant there were ports.
Wasn't there a fucking Wubsy game that came out recently?
Yeah, Bubsy.
Yeah, they tried.
something
They
back
thought
in
that
action.
they thought that
In
doing
2008.
a, like
Retro revival of a
nostalgia-
hated
Yeah, it's a, like a
nostalgia revival.
platformer.
But it was not like they were like, we're not gonna make it 3D because the 3D one was the bad one. The first 2D platformers also sucked, guys. They weren't good platformers.
In 2008, Namco Networks released an enhanced remake for mobile phones. This is for the Popeye arcade game. The game plays largely the same and features an enhanced mode in addition to the arcade original, which includes a bonus stage and an extra level paying homage to the short A Dream Walking, where Popeye must save a sleepwalking Olive, as well as some trivia segments.
Oh.
Popeye arcade game.
Oh.
Trivia segments.
Do you guys know,
normal.
Popeye had a. You know that Popeye is a kid,
Yeah.
Yes.
little baby. What's the baby's name?
Baby's name
Fuck
is
if I know.
Baby.
No,
No, that's my cat.
that's the
What's
cat.
the
You
baby's
are a
name?
seal.
Sweet Pea.
Oh yeah, this is in
yeah.
that fucking movie that Ron Williams is in.
Yeah. Guys, before the break.
Damn,
your best Popeye
Daniel.
laugh.
I don't know what his laugh sounds like.
Play that video on screen right now.
I'm referencing that weird fucking old guy. What was that guy doing?
Are you thinking about the damn Daniel meme that Tyler and me are laughing at?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What the
that guy.
fuck?
Anyway, yeah, play that video. But
If
also,
I remember
like,
in editing.
for my best
Holy
Popeye,
shit!
kind of like a Mr. Krabs.
Yeah.
It's a bit higher
That's
pitched
it.
because you know how Popeye be. Anyway, that's the end. Go away.
All right. Goodbye.
Beep-boo, beep-bop, beep-bo. Welcome back. I told you to
Refrigerator.
go. I told you to go, but if you stayed, that means you're a true gamer.
True gamer.
If
Congratulations,
you notice that
guys.
there's another
not
hour
a
to
fuck-
this
you're not a fucking
podcast, good
sheep.
job.
You're not a
Welcome
sheep.
to-
Lily, you should put... Lily, when I say go away, instead of cutting to the break, make it, like, do, like, a fake out where it looks like the end of YouTube with all the thumbnails of the
Sure.
recommended videos.
Sure. That'll be a bit that doesn't translate in audio form because this is a podcast. Sure.
just
Just
leave
play
it
our
empty for
outro
like
music.
10 seconds.
Well, that also works if you're on audio only because you just hear "go away" and then silence. So you
That's
just-
that's
hear
not
the
how it.
episode end.
We
Alex, do
do
you know
an
how
out.
a podcast works?
Do you know how our outros work?
No, I know the little musical interludes in between.
We
but
also
I'm saying
have someone that reads the Patreon thing.
Well, no one's paying $20 right now, so no.
No one's paying fucking $20.
Well,
Crazy?
we have a
This
thing that
economy?
says if you want to be read, then you pay $20 on our Patreon.
Like, I'm not saying at the end of the video. I'm saying it like at this midpoint. the middle
Yes,
of
we know. Alex,
Okay.
you are
I love
misunderstanding
this
what we're
bit.
talking about.
I love this bit.
Alex
also
doesn't
love
have fucking reading comprehension.
I'm not reading
not
anything.
Alex, or you're right. Alex doesn't have
Read with your
verbal
ears.
comprehension.
I don't have comprehension. Get it right.
Alex,
I don't comprehend.
Alex.
Period.
hey, Alex.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Lily.
What?
Chicken butt.
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
thought about
Guess
leaving
how?
I thought about leaving just now.
so while we were on break, Alex brought up a really interesting topic that we've never talked about before on the podcast.
Oh, I don't.
Well, I
remember
already
this.
forgot.
Are you for fucking real?
I already forgot what it was, and I'm the one that said we should stop talking for podcasts.
I did not. You okay? Okay, this one. Now hold on. Let me explain. You said on break. My brain didn't go to the little break we had in between recording, the half-an-hour segments. My brain went to the half-year-long hiatus we went.
No!
I thought you were pulling a conversation from that, and not the conversation we just had not 5 minutes ago.
Alex.
I already forgot, so you can absolutely yell at me about that. I have no idea what we're talking about.
It's not that I forgot, it's that I misunderstood.
Uh-huh.
My memory isn't that bad. I don't
know, Alex.
48
I don't know about that.
I'm 78 years young. Leave me alone.
Wow, 78. Impressive.
Yes, I'm
so anyway. Alex was talking about streamers.
I was, because I brought a video of Wayne.
Oh yeah, we were talking
Halloween
about
seance.
streamers, and we talked about how Lily's insane.
Sus.
So Alex, you don't like certain things.
I'm very persnickety when it comes to a stream that I watch, and so when I stream, I assume that that's what other people want, which is very funny.
Mm-hmm.
I hate streams. I hate having to pay attention for anything for that long.
My ideal Twitch stream is the entire screen is the video game content, maybe a webcam in the corner, maybe, and then the notification dashboard for like followers, subscribers, donations, that appearing periodically. I pray that text-to-speech isn't on, and I pray that the sound clip is not like a half-minute long song, but like just like a ding, and that's it. Like that's what I enjoy when it comes to a stream thing. I don't like an overlay. I like it very minimalist. And I like I like a calm atmosphere, because usually when I'm listening to a stream, that means that I have minimized it and I'm playing something in the background and I'm listening to the person talk and play the game. Usually I'm not sitting there, my attention wrapped on the content. It's a second monitor thing. But that's for me like what I think it is. Whenever some people have like text-to-speech on and like a funny little meme jingle for the notifications, and then like also just like they don't put a limit on the text-to-speech, so someone could just write a full paragraph and it'll get all read out while they're talking over it. That shit makes my brain explode. The end.
I like it when there's a lot of stuff going on a stream, because I think it's fun when every noise is happening and my brain just turns to mush.
I don't like that.
That is the worst experience you could have possibly tried to like transcribe to my brain.
Good.
Tyler, you like stream content.
Sometimes.
What's your preference between the two extremes?
Absolutely with fucking Alex.
Nothing. Yeah. I'm a lot
if
closer
text
to
to
Alex.
speech is on,
I hope
it has
funny.
to be like
it
just has. It either has to be funny or it's just gonna be like the streamer in the voice call and nobody else talking.
I think the text to speech is good if you are solo streaming, because then it can provide something. But if you are having like a conversation with someone on your stream and then the text to speech comes and you're talking over it and it's talking over you, that shit is not a good experience for me.
I think it's fun to implement it in certain points, because I follow a small streamer who is doing like debating tier lists, and anybody could donate and change the tier list up with whatever they wanted.
That's the right way to do it. That's like not having it on all the time, but having it on for special occasions is smart. That's good. I like that.
So here's my thing.
Fuck.
Here's something I want to bring up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So something that I should say about the whole text-to-speech thing. This isn't like a defense of it, because ultimately I understand that not great.
It sucks.
It's not great. I just think it's kind of like, I just think it's fun to have a lot of stuff going on. The thing about it is that I think it really only exists as a consequence of a streamer getting big really fast and not knowing how to like deal with that.
Yes, like that's like the text-to-speech thing, having it always on is a good thing to implement if you are a small streamer building a community. If you have thousands of people watching to you and donating and subscribing and following and rating on a consistent level, that shit gets irritating fast.
Well, additional thing here is that, like, what are you gonna do if you did that, the whole small community build-up thing, and then all of a sudden you have all of this, but your community is built around this, like, this whole text-to-speech thing. So when you get that big, like, you can't do anything, you can't, like, change it all at once, because then people are gonna be like, oh, wow, you know, they only cared when they were, like, small, and now that they're big, and they're just gonna... do
I think the fan base should suck it the fuck up.
If I cultivated a community, say our Twitch channel, if I cultivated a community in this fashion, and then I pulled the plug on it because I was like, we're too big, it's noisy, and it's distracting, and like, I'll turn it on for some things, but I'm not going to have it on all the time because it's kind of much like media share. You don't want to have that on all the time. You don't want people to donate and then just send you like a 5-second like video like on YouTube that's just a guy going like, that's not, you don't want that when you're just playing normally. You want that for funny special things. If the community like outrages over it, I would say goodbye. I don't want to have that community. That sounds like hell.
No, I understand.
That is not a community I would have cultivated, because I have been from the start of the TheFableFew. I've said these people don't know me. The choices I make for this channel are mine and y'all's. And that's it. I don't give a fuck about what our fans think I should do. I'm doing what is easiest and best for me and my friends.
Yes.
I'd bump the prices up for text-to-speech, make it a supply and demand issue.
That's the ultimate move. I'm be like, okay, if you want text-to-speech so bad, it's $50.
It's $15 to make the funny robot talk.
Yeah, $50, and you can just spout nonsense for as long as you want. $50, sure, go.
$100 to say come.
Yeah, $100 you can say a swear.
Wow.
Give me $1,000 and I'll let you say a slur, but only one that I can reclaim.
Also, to espouse more to espouse more of my fucking nonsense, I'm definitely on the more like Puritan side of this scale. I think Tyler's kind of in the middle. I think Lily's on the far end of like all noise, go crazy, go stupid. And then right in the middle is Tyler. In between me and Tyler is AJ, somewhere in there. And then I'm not even on the list. Like you're like probably,
I fucking hate watching streams.
Fair enough. But then I'm on the other end of the scale from Lily, where I think that an overlay is like silly, unless it's like to. I think adding the chat box and the overlay is like, if I'm watching a stream, I'd prefer to see the whole video game instead. Take up the whole screen.
I like it just because the amount of times something's happened in the chat that has caused like the streamer to go ape shit. And I've been like, I literally have no idea what's happening.
That's fair.
It like bugs me.
I want it to be captured.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that, like, this is where my opinion, I know, is definitely the minority opinion on this, is that like I think most people would prefer to see the chat on a regular basis and shit like that.
No, you are very strange in that opinion, Alex.
I'm very picky.
No, I'm with Alex. Is I wish that there was a way to like only include the chat for if like the person's reacting to the chat.
There's a couple things nowadays, like Twitch VODs themselves, if you keep them as a highlight or whatever, for a while, a long while, they keep the chat history. So if you watch the VOD on Twitch, it has that. And nowadays, there's actually, I think, a Chrome extension that puts it on the side, makes the Twitch chat show up on YouTube VODs.
That is too much.
You can actually sync that up.
So here's what I do.
It keeps the emotes and everything.
Here's the thing. There's an even easier way to do all of this. The thing is that the answer is that you do need an overlay. The reason why is that if you set up the overlay right, you can have a VOD focus, or like have an edited thing focus on just the what do you call it? Hold on. Brain fart. Hold on. Let me think.
Okay.
You can have the VOD focus on just the game, and then when the streamer is reacting to it, you can just zoom the VOD out to when the streamer's having funny things. But that's like if you do like an edited chat thing.
Yeah.
That's, again, I lean towards too much for what most people want to do, because streaming overall is you do all the work to set up the stream, and then you just have to upload the VOD.
Yes.
No, well, I mean, people pay for people to like edit their VODs.
Yeah, to take like something that's like we plan to eventually one day in the future, maybe someday, edit the Color Splash VODs that I did. And because like I don't think anyone's gonna sit down and watch me play Color Splash for 12 hours. 20 minutes, probably more plausible.
I mean, I'm still firmly in the thing that streams are too fucking long, and there's not enough like actual content to watch for most of it.
Yeah, I like streams specifically because of that. Because I can zone out and run it basically like a podcast, and then if something happens, I can just go tab over and watch what happened.
Yeah. See, I don't care.
Yeah, fair enough.
You are the least stream person.
I don't. It's so clunky as a form of entertainment for me.
Well, I guess that's why you don't watch them.
That's true.
Yeah,
and you're not the intended audience at that point.
I think their biggest draw is the fact that it is live. I enjoy that a lot, because if you're doing something kind of repetitive like speed running, or like trying to do do something in a video game specifically, or like I guess nowadays Twitch has art stuff, so like if you're painting or drawing or something, you have a live community of people to have a conversation with, and you can just have them feed you like conversation starters. So if you're by yourself, you can have an interesting conversation.
As like a streamer who has done streams, that's fine. That's fun. But I never have fucking time to watch a streamer in that regard.
Yes. It's for people that like can tune in on a regular basis to watch as well. Like it creates.
Then
like,
we're just back to live TV at that point.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
I don't know about that specific statement.
Putting into surveillance cameras.
No, I mean like live TV as in back before like TiVo and shit, where it's like if you did not watch this when it came out, you were fucked.
I suppose. I don't know.
True. But yeah, I'm a little persnickety boy.
That's why
Yes, you are.
I think the thing is that like really the biggest benefit to watching streams is being able to help the streamer make the highlight reel for the video that they can make about the stream. Because like my favorite streamers are the people who make highlight reels of their streams, like Jerma. Jerma is the best example of a streamer who does it really well, because he has other people do it for him.
Yeah, and the thing that I like about it is it's good for long-term things. Like we've seen it with us recording Paper Mario, getting the exact cast for Paper Mario to show up and be available at the same time for a few hours to record like probably about 10% of that video game at a time. That takes months. Meanwhile, I played Color Splash once a week for like 2 hours, except for that first stream I did 6 because I'm insane. But
we also have like the Sam and Max streams.
Yeah, I did like 2 or 3 hours of that game, and I could just it added a routine where I got, like, I probably wouldn't have gotten through Color Splash if I played it on my own, but streaming it, I was like, I could just put in a few hours and then log off, and then be done with it.
Yeah, and I actually prefer that we start streaming shorter anyway, because, like, my 2-hour Minecraft stream was, like, great. 4 hours would have been like, oh, it's a little long, but it's, like, okay, you know, whatever.
Yeah,
but, like 2 hours, like with the podcast, because we're doing a special 2-hour back where you just get to hear us yell at each other again.
In case it wasn't clear.
So, like, that's fine. 2 hours is, like, that's something that I can put on while I'm at work and having to do paperwork. that's fine.
Yeah.
That's whatever. It's when it starts to get into like 7 hours is when I go, I'm like, I can't. There's not enough time in my day for me to watch this.
Yeah, those are the streams. Yeah, those are the types of streamers I do not watch.
I
think. Yeah.
I am unfortunately
Yes.
a target audience for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because you watch, like, we were talking in just with our friends, or at least you were, and I overheard it, about the stuff like H-Bomber Guy does. Because I liked his 40-minute video on climate change. Really funny. Whatever the fuck all of his addresses to popular media are make me go insane.
Yeah, no, he don't like it.
Like, I'm sorry, I also don't like the BBC Sherlock Holmes, and I could probably also go on, like, a 2-hour tirade on why it is not, like, a good way of presenting the media from the books, which I do actually very much enjoy the books as a story. Yeah, whatever. But it's when you start to get into the 5-hour breakdown of only like 3 seasons of RWBY that I start to go, okay, maybe we can step back a bit.
Yeah, no, that was insane. And I will never agree with what he says in that video. Like, he makes some points where it's like, yeah, sure, I guess that makes sense. But ultimately, I don't fucking care enough to watch it.
Yeah. It's just the majority of the time it feels like video essays are outrageous for clicks, and then they don't even know what to do with the time that they just made.
Do you know what's a great excuse me. Oh my god. Sorry.
Lily's going insane. We can't do the 2-hour format.
So I actually started watching a person who does video essays who doesn't like be like, oh, here's like this very long and negative and meaningless video about this topic. She like goes and describes her topic in detail for people who are like entirely unfamiliar or who want to experience like a nostalgia trip. Mm-hmm. And she'll talk about the good and the bad in equal measure. And she doesn't like go out of her way to find like universally hated things to talk about. She talks about things she's genuinely interested in, and like her shit's good. If you ever have an interest, this is for the people watching, not necessarily you guys. Sarah Zed.
Oh yeah, because she did that video that got her in trouble with Wet Pumpkin, right?
Yeah, the Homestuck video where she referenced the legal troubles that the company was experiencing with a lot of other things, especially with the development of HiveSwap, and she got a fucking legal threat from Andrew Hussey's lawyer.
Which is hysterical.
And then had an email interview with Andrew Hussey, who said he didn't even fucking watch her video.
Like, in that same vein, I am someone who I love cinematography. I am such a cinematography nerd. It is one of my favorite things to, like, look into and go over. And I've been watching, Nick D. Romero, which is a YouTuber that, obviously also has a passion for it. Because while he looks into things, like, he does a lot of Pure Flix stuff, which is, instead of just breaking down that, like, oh, Christians are weird, instead he breaks down, he's like, well, this is just, like, honestly, here's how they could have improved this story and gone over and made this a better production. Mm-hmm. Well, still, of course, making fun of how fucking weird Christians are.
They're really weird.
They are, and I enjoy watching Pure Flix secondhand because he actually commits to the bit.
Yeah.
And I way prefer, like, watching the hour breakdown of some random Pure Flix movie of that, where he's, like, going down and breaking down the cinematography and actually going into detail on, like, why God's Not Dead has made, like, an example of tokenism and stuff like that, rather than watching someone just say, hey, this thing is bad, and I'm going to explain why it's bad, even though we already agree that it's bad, and I'm just going to go into that for 5 hours.
I'm gonna hate boner this object for the longest time.
Because, like, Go for it.
You go. No, I'm segueing. You finish your stuff.
Oh, okay. I'm all for just like yelling at things. I am generally an angry person who likes to be angry at things, but Jesus Christ, go see a therapist.
Yeah, after a certain point, it makes my brain hurt, and I'm just like, I don't want to hate things anymore if this is how it makes me feel all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, Alex, segue.
Oh, I was saying, speaking of Christianity, I watched Midnight Mass.
What is
how is that? I've been meaning to like get into it, but I wanted to wait for like you to watch it.
Julia, our friend, has been a huge fan of this director. I always forget his name. Oh,
yeah.
Fuck.
I don't remember his name either.
Oh, it's gonna
Robert
kill me.
De Niro.
No, it's not
Shut
Robert
the fuck
De Niro. Mike Flanagan.
Yeah.
He Julia has been recommending to me for a long time because we watched like The Lighthouse and like I was recommended The Witch as well.
The Vavitch?
But also, yeah, The Vavitch.
It's pronounced The Witch, but go off.
Yeah, it's pronounced The Witch. But anyway,
because it's the Roman spelling.
What's it called? Mike Flanagan was a director that Julia also likes and recommended to me. Known for Haunting of Hill House and Bly Manor shows on Netflix. And currently, the newest thing was in October was Midnight Mass, which is like another like horror spooky thing.
Its whole thing is finding like beauty in like the biblical creations, despite how like inhuman they may be.
Yeah, Midnight Mass was like, I'm not a horror guy. I usually detest it and it's not fun. I like a thriller. I like atmosphere horror, much like Silent Hill 2 or something like that. But like modern day horror movies usually put me to fucking sleep or like leave me just feeling bad. And I'm like, okay.
You know, like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Lily, please.
My
heart.
Fucking yeah, we gotta put a warning in now. But
sorry, guys.
The show is like a 7-episode miniseries, which already is a good sign. I like a miniseries because that means it fucking ends, which Netflix doesn't know how to fucking do. Netflix doesn't know how to end a show to save their goddamn life.
No,
they can't stop beating a dead horse until it stops spitting out money.
The two things Netflix is good at is not ending a show and then never continuing a show.
Yes, they only know how to cancel a show and run it into the ground. They don't know how to finish something correctly. But yes, this is a series that has a start and an end. There's no shitty cliffhanger. There's credits. And then the show ends. And you're like, good. It basically felt like watching a very, very long movie that had enough time to set up the characters, which is one of my problems with like a 2-hour movie usually, is they don't know how to like make you care about all the characters in those 2 hours. So you end up feeling like some of the characters sucked. But this gives you an hour each episode to dole out the story and talk about the characters and like talk philosophy. And something that's very funny to me that I was recommended this show also because of Red Letter Media talked about it, and that made me finally say fine, I'll go fucking watch it. They bring up this point as well, is that people nowadays like are very much like Marvelized, where like they'll watch a movie that has like two characters having a conversation in a room and none of them like wink at the camera or say, well, that just happened, and then like they're like, this movie sucks, it's boring, it's not funny, there's no quips.
I've talked about this extensively.
Why does horror have to be funny?
The thing isn't specifically the quips, but that's like a lot of the people hate like not liking Midnight Mass right now are like, there's too many monologues, it's so talky, I just want to get to the next plot point.
Isn't it horror?
Yeah, so with that, like in the same vein, and I've talked about this because wink wink nudge nudge, I'm writing a series for TheFableFew. And I strongly believe that horror and comedy are like, they're parts of the same part of the brain. And you can have that, and they can absolutely coexist, but you don't want it to be like whatever the fuck Marvel thinks is horror. Which is like, you can't...
Marvel does horror?
They dabble.
They
try it. No.
Like sometimes they try to have like a spooky scene sometimes, or like sometimes they dabble with jump scares.
They don't know how to
like
carry
the
the
Netflix
tension.
TV shows they all canceled when they created Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Like they try to have like a jump scare here and there, or like a moment of like horror. They never have built like a horror movie, but anytime they've tried, it's like just sad.
Yeah, it's a lot of they sense? Obviously don't know. They don't know how to carry the tension through a scene properly. It's the whole thing of when you're trying to build a scary scene, you need to have like that build up, that then there's that level of suspense that you want to draw out basically until it's so thin that the audience is now getting freaked out. They're about to snap. And then that's when you deliver whatever you're trying to do, whether that be a scare, a revelation, a plot twist, whatever. Marvel doesn't know how to carry the tension all the way through. They deliver a scary premise, and then they don't let it sit long enough.
Yeah.
They don't know how to simmer.
Yeah, they don't let it, because normally it's like pulling a rubber band until it snaps, as you keep pulling and pulling, and you don't know when it's going to happen, you just know that it's going to happen, and that's where the scary part comes in.
And the thing about Midnight Mass that I liked, because not being a horror fan in general, is that it had that Silent Hill 2 kind of horror, where instead of being like that build up until like the scary thing happens, it really more is just like a consistent blanket of dread that like doesn't really get resolved, but it just makes you go like, this is kind of gloomy and dark and atmospheric and cool, and like the philosophy is very neat and the concepts are cool, and there's like like you could count the like quote unquote jump scares on one hand, and those even are like probably what I'd consider the best of a jump scare, where like you just like, it's not something that makes you jump out of your seat or like recoil from the jump. It's something that makes you go like, whoa. Like gives you like a little bit of like a it makes your brain jump, but your body doesn't like physically react.
Yeah. I have a problem with jump scares on like a physiological level because I have a heart condition. And that's always been my biggest problem with jump scares, is they're so fucking cheap.
Yes.
It's boring. Every time I watch a movie, like a horror movie, and it does a jump scare, I'm immediately taken out, and I just went, wow, that was the dumbest shit ever. I don't care about this movie anymore at all.
I remember I was watching like this breakdown of like popular tropes, and one of them is when like a human child is raised by like a creature, by a la creatura sort of situation.
La creatura.
And I was recommending stuff that I've read or seen, because there's like a webtoon comic that's called The Last Human in a Lonely Universe. Absolutely, if you love that sort of thing, it is a little human girl who gets adopted by a giant spider alien. And it is very cute if you like that sort of thing. However, somebody countered me with the movie Mama from 2013. And I will tell you right now, the thing that I remember being the scariest part of that movie is I went to watch it with my family and my cousin, and at one point during the movie, they had found a better spot in the movie theater to sit in and didn't tell me. So straight up, I turned to crack a joke to my cousin. So I turned, and my entire family's gone. And that's the scariest part of that movie.
Yeah.
Is the very personal anecdote that has nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, there's a jump scare. It's one of those really cheap one where it's a scene transition jump scare, which if you ever do a scene transition jump scare and I find out about it, I'm gonna get you. I hate them. It is by far, like, jump scares are already cheap, and the cheapest jump scare you can do is a scene transition jump scare. And there's one in there where they're, like, hammering a window closed.
Oh, what? Jesus.
And it is the only time I went, in that entire movie.
Also as the final send-off, as we go to our final break, watch it. Might want to read some content warnings.
Oh, yeah.
If some things set you
off.
Go
to doesthedogdie.com.
Yeah, go to doesthedogdie.com.
It has more than just Does the Dog Die. It has all sorts of things like if you have like religious trauma, which I imagine is probably going to be a recurrent theme in Midnight Mass.
Yes, but also it's a the music, I actually like put the score in my favorites on YouTube. I like it a lot. It's a good score.
That is high praise from Alex.
It is.
Yeah, if
All right,
it goes in the YouTube favorite, that means I go to goodbye, die.
Hey Tyler, tell us something funny about what happened in this break that we just had. Go.
I hit my head.
I said Tyler.
We had something funny happen?
Tell me something funny that happened, Tyler. Do it.
Engaging conversation.
I farted.
You said someone had to be ready.
I kicked the door open in the fake podcast room in the hypothetical podcast fantasy room we're in. I kicked the door open. I put my arms around Tyler to save him, and I say, segue. Guys, what's your favorite recent movie and what's your favorite nostalgic old movie?
Recent movie that came out like this year. I really liked the Suicide Squad movie.
I'm talking like it can go back a bit, like a year or two. Or something. It doesn't have to be like yesterday.
I don't know, there's a couple movies. I will say that, while you guys may have very interesting taste in streams, I have very interesting taste in movies.
This is true. You did introduce me to Velocipaster.
Velocipaster is definitely one that I will be talking about at length once I get someone to watch it with me. Lily sighs knowing that will probably be her.
Film.
Yeah.
A film. I won't even call it a movie.
It's a film.
That fucking what is it? Tim and Eric sketch where they're talking about Shrek 2.
There's a lot of movies that came out over the last couple of years that I think did a really good job, and I think it depends on the criteria you're rating them by. Birds of Prey and The Suicide Squad both were excellent comic book movies. Like, that's what I want to see from comic book movies, basically, from now on. Being, like, over the top, dramatic, and stupid. Also, John Cena's dick.
Oh, John Cena's dick, you say?
John Cena's cock is huge.
It is so massive in the Suicide Squad. It's so funny.
You don't see like his cock and balls or anything, but you see his bulge, and
he's in very tight shorts the whole movie.
Huh. Okay.
The whole time.
At one point, there is a dick in that movie, and he shoots it.
Yeah, he does shoot a dick. Okay, so are we doing this in order? So AJ's gonna say both of them, or are we gonna do like the new movies first?
Let's do the new movies first, and then we'll go back around.
So do I go next, or does Alex go next?
I wasn't finished.
Oh. Okay.
I wasn't
finished. You got off on a tangent after I mentioned John Cena's cock.
His cock.
AJ, finish your thoughts or else.
And then there was also, if I'm going to talk about movies that I think just did a good job as a movie that I think everyone should watch, I would definitely recommend Promising Young Woman. Though that's another one that I would absolutely look up, like, the, content warnings for, because while it is a fantastic movie that has a violin cover of Toxic during the climax, oh my god.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright. Lily, you go.
Okay, fine. So my favorite new movie to be coming out. My problem with this question is I don't watch a lot of movies, actually. But new movies to come out is, I would probably say, I guess Birds of Prey. For a lot of the same reasons why AJ says that the new Suicide Squad is one of the best new movies to come out, is that I think Margot Robbie really managed to capture the feeling of reading a comic book, because a lot of people are like, oh, these movies are bad for this reason. It's just kind of like, well, in reality, they're not like bad, they're like kind of boring movies. Like, comic book movies have sucked in terms of like capturing the energy of comic books, especially Marvel movies.
Yes. It's so bad.
And so it's
but
just,
I'm excited because of how good the Suicide Squad movie was, that maybe DC will run with this, though I'm not optimistic. I'm just hopeful.
Yeah, I feel like the side movies are gonna be like that, but when it comes to like the Justice League stuff, I feel like it's just gonna be more like Zack Snyder crap.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my new movie. I liked The Birds of Prey. It was great. Tyler.
I'm checking my letterbox to remind myself of what's recent that I watched.
I'll go.
I could lift off a few.
Oh, okay.
I watched the new Mortal Kombat movie. That kind of sucked.
Did you have fun?
I had fun, but it
Tyler,
sucked.
don't tell us the ones that suck. Tell us the one that is good, that you like.
The one you want other people to watch, so then you can talk about it.
Give a recommendation.
Okay, The Night Comes for Us. It's a 2018 fucking Indonesian film. I don't remember where the guy comes from, but directed by Timo. I can't pronounce his last name. No. But it's a great action movie with a lot of gore, and from what I remember, it's been a long while since I watched it. It's really entertaining, and the choreography is great. Almost like a very gory John Wick film, and I would recommend it for anybody that isn't squeamish to a lot of gore, or that's about it. So it's just very gory and a fun time.
All right.
So noted.
Now, Alex, you don't get to shirk the question anymore.
Oh, yeah. I think that for me, for recent stuff, like, The Lighthouse is up there. The Lighthouse still... Yeah. The Lighthouse and Whiplash, for me, are, like, high up on there. More so Lighthouse. That shit ruled. That shit was
just
great.
Spill your beans.
Why'd you spill your beans? But it's just Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe being a little homoerotic.
I can't believe Robert Pattinson is the other guy in that movie. He does not look like Robert Pattinson.
He doesn't look like Robert Pattinson with that mustache. I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you what.
But yeah,
he looks like a sexy man I would kiss.
If you want to watch like Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson mix like lighthouse, lighter fluid, and alcohol, and then get so fucking poisoned that they start like getting a little sexy and start slow dancing in the fucking lighthouse, then have a little view, and then also maybe Willem Dafoe chases Robert Pattinson with an axe. You know, sometimes you get a little crazy in the lighthouse, you know. But
it's just a little
into a lighthouse.
That Whiplash and like Parasite. Like, Parasite is so fucking
good. Parasite's so good. I just wish I didn't have subtitles.
Actually, you know what? I'd put Uncut Gems up there, too.
Okay.
Uncut Gems it made me just feel pain
Lighthouse,
for 3 hours.
Lighthouse, Uncut Gems, Whiplash.
That's
Parasite.
That's a good shotgun blast of genres. Have fun.
You know.
All right, back around AJ for retro or older
before we say anything, hold on. Alex, I think the funniest thing about the Lighthouse is that there's this one video from Cody from Alternate History Hub where he just tries to convince you that the Lighthouse is Cartoon Network's like reboot movie for fucking Flapjack.
That's correct. That's not a theory. That's right.
Oh, okay. I'm glad we can clear that up. All right. Anyway, AJ, you
that's his Candy Island. This is what happens when they get to Candy Island. Yeah. It all makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's retro movies. How retro are we talking?
I think personally nostalgic.
Yes, personally nostalgic.
Personally nostalgic. Ooh. Okay. Is there any movie I'm not allowed to say?
You can say whatever you want. Literally, my criteria is did I watch it over and over and over again as a kid.
Yeah.
And still
as a kid,
not sick of it. Yeah, as a kid or like something from your youth.
Ooh, that's a lot harder for me. I guess like obviously Princess Bride, because that was my grandparents' like wedding vows were based on the Princess Bride, so I grew up with that one.
Took me pick. I gotta pick a new one now.
Oh, wow.
Go fuck yourself. I have the book right here.
I love that fucking movie.
That was one, like I said, my grandpa and my step-grandmothers had, like, whenever they were fighting, they would always end it with, like, to show that they weren't actually mad at each other, they'd always go, "Wov, twoo, wov," and then burst into laughter, sort of thing. And that's what I grew up with, so it was always that. Or if, like, my grandpa was upset with me, he's like, "All right, good night. I'll probably kill you in the morning." And that's
Have
very
storm
much
in the castle.
Exactly. It's just, that's what I grew up with. So if I had to pick a nostalgic one, and then if I had to pick like a personal one that I really like that everyone else hates, it's obviously going to be Rubber.
Okay.
You knew that was coming.
Well, I wouldn't call that one a nostalgic movie in terms of what I assume the criteria is, but I'm not going to argue with you.
I don't know what... I found that movie when I had just talked my mom into watching Sharknado with me, and this was back when it was on Netflix years ago. I had just gotten out of a big blowout fight with my then best friend that caused us to, like, not be friends anymore, because they sucked. And so I was in, like, tears and having a panic attack, and that was when I watched Rubber for the first time.
Fair enough.
Oh.
Anyway.
So go fuck yourself.
You know what my pick is? I bet AJ can guess what my pick is.
Okay.
There's a couple that it could be, so go ahead.
Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. That right there is the most nostalgic movie for me in my entire life. Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island is by far one of like the best movies in my opinion ever. This is
we should
highly
talk about
biased.
the escape room at some point.
We should what?
Talk about the escape room because we have.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. So, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island was one of my first Scooby-Doo movies. I was obsessed with Scooby-Doo as a child because I was definitely autistic, and Scooby-Doo was like that 5-year period's like a big thing for me. And so Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island I had on VHS tape, and I would play it over and over and over and over again. And you know what? I realize now, as I was like thinking about how I was going to talk about this, I realize now I think that movie is like, I should have known I was trans at 5 years old when I watched that fucking movie because I wanted so badly
cat girls.
I wanted so badly to be the cat creatures, but I didn't want to be the cat creature that the man on the boat was. I wanted to be like the cat creature that the raven-haired girls turned into. Her name was like Lena, I think.
Yeah.
I also had Zombie Island. I had like 3 Scooby-Doo. I had 3 Scooby-Doo VHS tapes. I had that one.
I think Tyler should also take one of your picks.
I had Cyber Chase.
Cyber Chase is pretty good.
Yeah,
one.
It is.
Cyber Chase isn't good though. It's a
it sucks. Good. It's the worst, but it's pretty
Zombie
good.
Island at least is good. But also, my dad was the kind of dad that like when VHSs were like but it was before Laserdisc and DVD and all that bullshit, is he would just have like he had a horde of blank VHS tapes and he would record everything. We had like every season of The Simpsons on bootleg VHS tapes from like season 1 to 15. We had Jimmy Neutron on VHS tape. Like before TiVo existed, my dad would just, when we were at school, like daytime television, like go onto Nickelodeon and just record like shit.
Wow, what a good dad.
And then yeah, we also had like a bunch of old Scooby-Doo tapes. Like they would again just like ripped straight off the fucking television.
Mm-hmm. Unrelated, I'm gonna start rewatching Scooby-Doo and like watch all of Scooby-Doo, like all of it. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna relive my childhood and then explore what the bad garbage is nowadays. Because Scooby-Doo,
a lot of the original show.
We were doing that.
Oh
shit, that's what that was. I was trying to think of like the tier list we talked about doing for the FableFew, and it was our fucking shit opinions on Disney movies.
Yeah, but anyway,
that we did when we were high in the hotel.
To get
Tyler's
turn.
Turn.
Topic and hand.
I was just gonna finish. What I was saying.
What you saying?
Anyway, Alex, I agree with you. Cyber Chase is like, it sucks, but if I rewatch it, I'm gonna smile the entire way through.
Yeah, I'll sit there and watch the whole thing. I'll watch the whole thing start to finish if it's on.
Anyway,
of course.
Anyway, that's enough. That's my end. Tyler.
All right, Tyler.
Okay, my nostalgic movies are Goofy Movie and Shaun of the Dead.
Obviously. Oh, we watched Goofy Movie for his birthday.
AJ, you were fucking right. Shaun of the Dead was
yes.
My favorite Cornetto movie is Hot Fuzz, but Shaun of the Dead is more nostalgic to me.
Yes, exactly.
I think that's true for anyone who likes that trilogy. It's usually like Hot Fuzz is the better movie, but Shaun of the Dead is more fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or at least the first exposure to it.
It's funny to me when Nick Frost says the N-word.
He does say it, though.
Yeah, they're walking out of
shithead in that movie.
Sean's
It's so funny.
Sean's ex's apartment. And they're like, where the fuck's your shithead friend at? And he's like, don't worry, he's like reliable or whatever. And then he skirts up to the curb.
Yeah, he
goes, what's up, Edwards? And he like ducks his head in shame.
Wow.
God. Yeah, because he realizes who's out there. He's like, oh, sorry. But the
very good.
That's a great movie. It's a great movie. Oh.
Yeah.
Was that your? So that's your pick, Tyler? Okay. Mine. I'd have to go with my other two picks taken. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh, the original.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which one?
Oh, the first.
You said Charlie, and I got worried.
Okay.
Do you know what my answer is?
Charlie, and I got worried. I think Charlie and the Chocolate
yeah,
Factory is the remake. It's.
You know what my answer is?
What?
I actually watched only the fucking
Johnny Depp one.
Yeah.
Burn.
Kills you.
I thought the old one was boring because they didn't have good video quality.
Die.
Kills you.
Why isn't this in 4K?
Gene Wilder didn't die for this.
The fact that 4K. The fact that the first hour of that movie, they don't set foot into that fucking factory for an hour.
It's so fucking boring.
And it's just vignette
it
of
sucks.
adults trying to cheat the system is funny as shit. If you go back and watch it as an adult, that shit ruled. That was for the adults. Because it's just like cutting to a vignette of a scientist. He's like, I've cracked the algorithm and I'll find the fucking golden ticket. And then he
so
fucking presses the button and a little like ticket tape comes out and it just says, nice try, asshole. And it's like... like that
it is so
rules.
good. Or like watching all of those like people, the dad that buys out the entire factory and just has all of his factory workers unwrapping the chocolate.
The
and then she tries to palm it into her pocket and it starts a fist fight.
Yes. That's like, it rules so much. Fucking Grandpa
and that's
Joe's
all before Gene Wilder shows up.
Joe's fucked up
It
bed.
was fucked up bed where he shared it with his fucking what is
grandparents? It's his wife and his in-laws.
Yeah, his in-laws playing footsie in one bed.
It's because they lived in like a one-room shack and Charlie lives in like the attic that has a bunch of holes in it.
Yeah.
And his parents sleep in the kitchen.
Yeah, like, it definitely, like, that beginning part, definitely for children, is just, like, snooze, like, Charlie's mom's song is, like, really long, and, like, it's one of those fucking movies. It's one of those musicals that I will watch. I'm not a musical person. I usually get bored. I think the only ones that have kept my interest is, like, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, or not Charlie, but Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Like that shit.
Don't describe it like that.
Willy Wonka's chocolate is yeah.
I will. You can't stop.
Turn off your mic.
Even I'm eatable.
But yeah, like the fucked up traumatic boat ride where they like behead a chicken and shit. Like, come on.
They what?
There's in the original Willy Wonka when they go on the like chocolate river ride, like there's just a bunch of like horrifying like animal imagery.
I hated that. I loved that movie as a kid, but whenever that scene came on, I would like I would take it as an excuse to go to the bathroom. I hated it.
Yeah, duck and run. Yeah, because Gene Wilder just acts like Gene Wilder's just for 5 minutes.
Singing, and I'm just sitting there as a 5-year-old, and my grandmother is just like, okay, AJ, we'll put on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You like that movie? And I was like, can we fast forward past this part? She's like, no, you can't fast forward through a movie. That's a rule. And I was like, okay.
That's such a fucked up thing.
You have to suffer through Charlie's mom's song too.
That's the funniest part about fucking adults in childhood is you can just like establish like laws and edicts that your child thinks is like how the world works. And you're just like, I'm just fucking with you.
It's like I wasn't allowed to fast forward through things. Like, or turning on a light in a car.
You could just walk up to your child and be like, hey, did you know that, like, if you, like, sob hard enough, the moon will come down killing all of us? Like,
what? Who told you that?
Yeah, I remember one time my dad was tired of me crying, and he was like, if you use up all your tears, you'll never cry again.
I love it. For those who just make up laws of reality to just destroy a child's worldview so they stop doing something annoying.
There's a book I really liked as a kid, since we're talking about like weird nostalgia stuff. It's called like Adult Files or something, and it was like a picture book, and I fucking loved it because it was a book series that was like all these rules that you don't understand that adults tell you, and it goes into like why they really tell you that, and it's some of the most fucked up things I've ever seen, and it's like why you can't watch TV all night, and it's because the little people that put on your TV shows have to sleep sometime, you fucking selfish asshole.
Oh my god.
It's just the modern day Fable. It's the modern day version
that's
of
us.
like German fairy. Yeah, it's the modern day version of like German fairy tales where it's like little Johnny went into the woods and then he lost his fucking hands. Don't go in the woods. That's like that's shit like that's just the modern day version.
The secret knowledge of grown-ups. It's called The Secret Knowledge of Grown-Ups.
That's so good.
Oh my god.
It's just so... Because then when they grow up, they're like, I was just fucking gaslit. Like, they just grow up and they just learn
funny.
that they're just... Like, it's... I like ones that are like ones that are just like idioms essentially, where it's like the child sees through it immediately, but it's just a way of telling them to cut it out. Like when my sister was little, she had a little pouty lip all the time because she didn't like going places, and so my grandmother was like, "You keep your lip like that, a bird's gonna land on it and poop on you."
That's a good one.
Well, it's like the thing that if you keep like a bad face or something, it's gonna freeze in that position.
Yeah. Like ones that it's like that won't happen, but it's also just kind of a funny thing.
But what
to
if
say.
it does?
The phrase freezing
but then
one is
you
a what
always
if it
have
does,
like
but the bird one's like, there's no way I won't see the bird coming.
I don't know. I've been attacked by some fucking birds, man.
I could fight back. I could fight the bird.
Oh, Alex is powerful.
I'm going to loose some geese into your home.
I wasn't the one with the
bird
pouty
with
lip.
two
My sister
stones.
was. I never had
It's
to
called
deal with
these
that shit.
hands.
I was normal. I tucked my lip in.
horrible.
I tucked my... That's like, I think the other one, like the other
Taylor,
version
that was so
like...
stupid.
Yeah, it was. I just kind of walked over it, but it was. It stopped me dead in my tracks. But yeah, like the other, like, I never heard this one used, like, in real life, but another colloquialism is, like, you stick out your tongue, a bird's gonna, like, fly down and just pick it up because it thinks it's a worm.
I always heard you're gonna catch flies. That was the one I grew up with.
Well, that's if you leave your mouth open, is what I got.
But going back, because I had a very important point that I need to know if other people felt the same way. So in the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and his mom works as like a laundress or something, and she's stirring that big pot of laundry.
Good soup.
Yeah, soup.
Soup.
I thought she was making soup too.
Took me so long. I was like, why does this soup need to be that big? And my mom's like, that's close.
I need to, like, I think, like, Lily, have you seen that movie since you were little?
Nope.
I think it's still on Netflix. I think we should watch it at some point, because I think you would appreciate it now that you have an adult brain in your body.
Oh, I'm sure I
Now that you have an adult brain in your body.
It's a fabulous movie. There's a reason I brought it up as my, like, number 3 on the list. It fucking slaps.
Gotcha. All right.
The fucked up 70s typography when the Oompa Loompas sing. The very ancient special effects they use to do typography. Good stuff.
I pulled up some of the quotes from The Secret Knowledge of Grown-Ups, and it's stuff like, the truth, you don't eat vegetables because you're good for you. You eat to keep them under control.
Oh my god.
Because otherwise they'll grow too big and kill you. We are trying to keep them from
like
taking
the Powerpuff Girls episode.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's the Powerpuff Girls episode where the broccoli becomes sentient and they gotta eat it. Oh, okay. So since we got like 5 minutes left, I'm gonna do a lightning round addendum to my topic that wasted 25 minutes. Tell Netflix or like streaming service show that you'd recommend. Go quick.
Dragon
Prince.
AJ. Oh yeah.
Glitch Text it's essentially a show that like even though it's for younger kids, it's about video games. The premise is these two teenagers get a part-time job at like a Best Buy, but really it's a cover for the fact that occasionally video games leak into the real world and they have to deal with it. There is an episode based on Castlevania that's insane, and Lily and I absolutely adored it. And
it actually feels like people who wrote it, the people who wrote that episode obviously played Castlevania growing up.
I figured Shadow and Bone would be up there.
Listen, Shadow and Bone's the obvious choice, but like I already recommend that to everyone.
That's fair enough.
My answer is The Dragon Prince. It's like Avatar: The Last Airbender, but Western fantasy, and it's really cool, and is also going to be longer than Avatar.
Yeah,
Sokka's voice actors.
It's written by the guy who wrote Avatar:
American Vandal. Yeah. It is my favorite Netflix original of all time. Only has 2 seasons. It's a mockumentary about high school teenagers trying to prove who did a prank. It's so fucking good.
Oh, do you not know what American Vandal is, Alex?
It's so good.
I've heard the name,
oh my god!
I've never heard a synopsis
It just starts out who drew dicks on cars, and then by like near the end, it's so good.
The second season is fucking insane. Because it's who put laxatives in the lemonade drinking fountain or something.
And like as the season progresses to like the series finale, it just culminates into like how does school teach us about society? How does school? It's fucked, and it's so good, and I recommend everybody watch at least the first season.
All right. My brain wanted to say Squid Game to be funny.
Oh man,
I held back, but I couldn't.
Hey guys, you heard about Squid Game?
I held back, but I couldn't stop laughing. It's good, but everyone knows about. Yeah, everyone else is like.
Everyone else is like, here's my genuine opinion on like things that I think deserve more attention.
Yeah, I have one, but I'm looking through my list and I saw Squid Game because it's still on my list, and I was like, everyone's seen it, but it'd be very funny to act like it was some like indie darling gem. Yeah, it's so niche, no one's ever heard of it. But the I got a little shotgun blast, again, but like I think Money Heist was cool for like 5 minutes, and then they dragged it on because Netflix doesn't know how to end anything.
Yeah.
But if that show had ended in season 2, it would have been like
Lupin,
a Netflix original classic. I was gonna say Lupin is very good, funny little heist story about a guy like in modern day France, like emulating.
Oh, is that the one where he is like the descendant of Arsène Lupin or something?
He's not the descendant. He just like really likes the books, and he's just emulating what he's read as the tricks. and then oh, what the fuck?
There's a cat there.
Oh, there's a cat there.
He grabbed my foot.
And then everyone's fucking watched it if they care. Castlevania, start to finish, is rules.
Yeah, I've heard that season 4 makes up for season 3.
Yeah, the second to last season stinky. The final season made up for it.
I just need to get around to actually pushing through season 3.
Yeah, that final episode stunk. But my actual real like legitimate like pick that I don't think anyone's fucking watched is Vincenzo, which is a Korean. It's a Korean drama comedy that is about a Korean dude who grew up in Italy in the mafia, goes to South Korea to like do some mob business, or like leaves the mob to go do his own thing in South Korea, and then ends up getting like a found family of like apartment tenants, and then has to defend them from the Korean like corruption. And it's just like a little bit of funny and a little bit of like kind of like just violence and like crime drama. Like it swings back and forth like pendulously, like wildly. It's crazy. It's like it's finished now. But yeah, it's strange. I've never tried Korean television before, like really, until Vincenzo and then Squid Game after it. Like, but yeah, Vincenzo came out like a year ago or something. It's finished and it's pretty good. I like it. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
I stalled. Right. I filled the last 30 minutes. I did it.
All right. Well, with that all being said, that was a very productive podcast.
We're back, baby.
The Fable Few, the
all right,
movie,
I am
the podcast.
The Fable Poo.
Are we stopping?
I have to pee.